here is the January 2025 costing paper. Part 1 is MCQ. I'm quickly discussing this. XYZ Limited produces product P. Cost accountant of the company has to prepare its budget for a particular year. Product P is FG. The following information is available for this purpose. Expected sales given in the question. Sale of FG 1 lakh units during the year. Selling prices given. Each unit of P requires 3 kg of raw material Q and 4 kg of raw material R. So Q and R is your raw material and P is your FG. Expected stock levels are as follows. Opening, beginning number, end, that is closing number, FG, RMQ, RMR. Everything is given to you. Raw material Q will cost you 2 rupees, R will cost you 3 rupees per kg. If they ask you purchase budget with rupee, you will require this. It requires 10 minutes of direct labor time to produce 1 unit of P. When it is in minutes and you do calculation, you will get total answer in minutes. But if you want in hours, divide by 60 minutes, you will get to know number of hours. And labor cost is 50 rupee per hour. Understand, time taken is given in minutes, but salary is given in hours. So when you do number of units into minutes, that you should divide by 60 first. So you will get to know how many hours. That you multiply by 50. Variable manufacturing cost is 10 rupee on unit basis given. Fixed cost is 3 lakh rupee, obviously per annum. Even if they give on unit basis, we will do it on total basis only. Fixed admin and selling. When they mix admin and selling like this, I should understand this as not related to production. It is below COP. Correct? General admin selling expense. That is also given as 25,000 per annum. Question is over. Now, this is case scenario question. That means this will not be one question. After this, on the basis of above, you are required to answer MCQ 1 to 5. And you can see here, each question has 2 marks, which means this is a 10 marks descriptive question converted into 5 MCQs of 2 marks each. And what did they ask? First one, total quantity of raw material R to be purchased and total cost of raw material Q. Total variable, underline or understand, cost of production. When they say cost of production, you should not include admin and selling. Those who can recall, there was one part B question like this in class book also. And there admin selling was given, just above that variable manufacturing cost was given. Yeah. Budgeted net income. Net income is basically your profit. You have sales with you in the first para, you saw sale quantity and selling price minus all the cost. Total number of units to be produced. Now production of FG. What is the formula for production of FG? Sale of FG plus closing stock of FG minus opening stock. All of this is FG. And do we have sale of FG number with you already? First para itself they said you have to sell 1 lakh units and you want to keep 15,000 with you and you already have 12,000 at the beginning. That means if you just take sales plus closing minus opening, even then you have 2 marks with you. Just production date. Easy to do. And here is where some students would have done a mistake. Variable manufacturing overhead 10 per unit. When they say manufacturing, this is incurred when you produce, not when you sell. So this should be multiplied with units produced. Fixed manufacturing cost, anyway units won't matter, but this is part of manufacturing. This is all above COP. Then they said fixed admin and selling, and this we discussed already. This is not related to production. And therefore when they ask this kind of question, variable cost of production, that time I should take only raw material Q, raw material R, direct labor, variable manufacturing overhead. That's it. Because question is what? Only variable cost of production. You should not add fixed cost of production. You should not, definitely not add that admin and selling and distribution. Students add everything. That is total cost per unit. They have asked only variable cost. Only up to manufacturing. You should not even include office, admin, selling and distribution. Net income they want. For net income it should be sales minus cost of goods sold. Here if you want, either you can do in cost sheet style. You can find out COP, cost of production, and then adjust stock you'll get cost of goods sold, and then you can take office admin not related to production. That will give you total cost versus total income. Total income is nothing but sales. Where is sales data? 1 lakh units sold at a price of 50. This is budget slightly mixed with cost sheet, one adjustment, only net income. Okay. Yeah. Can you please open volume 2 book from class material? Come to budget topic. There was a similar question in part B, which we discussed in class. Anybody, if you have got page number? And question number. Budget chapter part B, page 379. Yes. In this, you 379, is it? 377. Sorry. This question, if you see, read last 4 lines. They want production, raw material purchase, but we had even that empty bag discussion. In exam question, you have only 2 raw materials. Then they said, look at this, budgeted variable cost to produce, cost of production, that too only variable number, and they wanted you to find out net income. Similar format, if you see, they have given number of units, selling price, each unit requires some kg of RM, and then stock beginning and end. We had empty bag extra in the question, but in exam paper, you do not even have that empty bag adjustment. And if I remember, even this had that minutes. See this, it requires 9 minutes to complete one bag, and labor cost is per hour. In exam question, it was how many minutes? 10 minutes, and it is 50 rupee. A similar question we have done in budget topic. This is actually a descriptive question. They have converted to 5 MCQs. Okay. Yes. Question number 6. This is a joint product byproduct question. You read here, 2 products Y and Z are obtained in crude form, and it requires further processing at a cost of 6 rupee and 5 rupee. What cost is this? Further processing cost, separate cost per liter before the product can be sold in the market. Observe the wording, final price when they say. Is it at split off point or after further processing? That number is 15 and 8.75, and these are sold at a margin of 25% on cost. Be careful, cost plus profit is 15 rupee price. I'm doing for one, same thing should be done for the second. And how much is profit? 25%. That means this will be 0.25, correct? X if you want, then this will be 15. From this you can find out X. And what is X cost? In that you already have further processing cost. Then the balance has to be share in joint cost. Should I repeat this? Everyone read, they're selling, the goods are sold at a margin of 25% on cost. And when they say on cost, that means it is cost kept as X, profit is 0.25, is equal to selling price. Selling price is already with you, correct? From selling price, if you take out the margin, sorry, profit, you know the total cost. From total cost, if you take out separate cost, what you get is share in joint cost. And then they have given number of liters, and joint cost amount is given. They want you to find out joint cost for 1 unit. You'll get total joint cost, that if you divide by number of liters, and they've asked only for Y. First share this 60,000 and then divide that by number of liters. This is one good question. Though it is for 2 marks, according to me, this will take little more time. Ideally speaking, I think I've told you this in the class also. 180 minutes, which is 3 hours, and you have to complete 100 marks. That means it is 1:1.8 minutes, correct? 100 marks, 180 minutes. That means a 2 marks question we should try and complete in less than 4 minutes. I think this one sum you will take slightly more than 5-6 minutes. But previous question was an advantage, 10 marks. That means even if you take up to 18 minutes, you are well within the speed. Okay. So somewhere they will add a lengthy question, somewhere it will be an easy question. So overall time will get adjusted. Question 7. This is normal and abnormal idle time. We have done one descriptive question in class on this. The data pertaining to the worker C in a factory depicts that he is paid at a rate of 100 rupee per hour and a week has 48 hours for 6 days. That means daily 6 into 8 hours. The allowed absentee time is 15 minutes per day for maintenance. When they say allowed time, it is normal idle time. Correct? And the job card of C shows that his chargeable time is scattered for two different jobs, 21 hours here, 24 hours here. Now, if you have Calci 15 minutes per day, and we are talking about 6 days, 15 minutes into 6 will be 90 minutes. If you divide by 60 minutes, how many hours? 1.5 hours. Total time was 48. From 48, if I take out normal idle time, how much is this now? 46.5. But if you see, he has spent 21 hours in one job, 24 in another. If you add 21 and 24, you are getting what? 45. That means the balance. See the on screen. See the wordings they have used. Any unaccounted time is attributable to power failure. That means this shortage, is it 1.5? This 1.5 should be taken as what? Abnormal idle time. Correct? If you remember in class, we had a sum 48 hours minus 4 hours normal time 44, and then we did job XYZ. We still had 4 hours of abnormal time. Correct? Same question. Here they are asking you find out cost of normal idle time and abnormal idle time. Normal idle time is anyway part of this. That means whatever you charge to job 1 and job 2, same rate is for normal also. But abnormal will go to costing P&L. If you remember, normal idle time will be part of cost of production, whereas abnormal idle time will be transferred to costing P&L account. If you have done that sum, you will be able to do. If anyone has volume 1 also in labor topic, we have this exact sum, not numbers. 48 hours. I remember 4 hours were lost. Yes, page number 72. You can see on screen this question. In class material, we have done this as question number 1-3. I'm just quickly reading. In a factory working 6 days a week, 8 hours. From there we got 48 hours. A worker is paid at a rate of 100 rupee plus we had DA also in the class. In exam it's only normal salary. He is allowed to take 30 minutes off and 10 minutes. So 30 plus 10, we took 40 minutes into 6 days. During the week his card showed he has spent time on 3 jobs. In exam question you had only 2 jobs. And then they said time not booked. In the question it was unaccounted, was for waiting, and here in the question paper they said this was for power failure. A similar question, but this we did in the descriptive style in class, but in exam it is asked as a multiple choice question. Okay, next one according to me is a good question. 8th one, this is from standard costing, that to fixed overhead variance. AB Limited has following data to you: budget, production in units, budgeted amount, actual for the month, production in units, and fixed overhead amount. Both budgeted and actual details are with you. They want you to find out volume variance. Tell me if you have to do volume variance in our table, which column minus which column? Column 4 minus 1, correct? But most of the overhead variances are based on hours or days. But I told you if both are not available, you can do on units, correct? That means this will be now column, okay, column 1 is BU into BR, correct? What is column 4? It should be standard hours, but standard hours is not possible. But standard hours is for actual production. That means this will now be AU into BR. Am I correct? Yes or no? Tell me. Do we know the numbers? Budgeted units 40,000. That means I can take it here. Guys, I shifted 4 and 1. So think in the normal direction. 4 minus 1. Do we know actual units also? Where is actual units? 48,000 into. How to do budgeted rate? If you have calci with you, how to do budgeted rate? Budgeted overhead 78,000 divided by budgeted units 1.95 exact. This is also 1.95. Remember, since this is in units, this rate will also be per unit. If that was in hours, this will be per hour. If anyone has done already in calci. Final answer 15,600 what? Favorable. Can somebody double check this? It should be favorable because I can see 8,000 extra. Yeah. So we have that option 15,000 favorable. And notice we have discussed the logic behind this in class. When 40,000 was budget and you produce 8,000 extra units, from volume angle it has to be favorable. Now if you do a mistake, 4 minus 1, you make it 1 minus 4, look at the other dangerous option. Same number adverse. Correct? But if you know the subject, when actual units are more, that means from volume angle it has to be favorable. Even if you do a mistake, you won't tick B, because you know extra units cannot create adverse to me, it should create favorable variance. All okay? Next one. This EOQ question, even if you don't know formula or if you don't know how to get this, by substituting all 4 numbers you can get the answer. See what they did. A company is analyzing its inventory management practice and has determined that EOQ is 400 units. That means left hand side answer is given. Cost incurred for placing an order is 25. Ordering cost O is given. While total demand for the year A is also given. What is the formula? EOQ is equal to root of 2AO by C. And if you check in the question, EOQ is given as 400 is equal to 2 into, do we have the annual number? 8,000 into, how much is ordering cost? You saw already, 25 rupee. They want you to find out C. Even if you don't know anything, you have all 4 numbers in the option itself. Correct? That means if you just do 2 into 8,000 into 25, divide that by first option, do a square root. If it is matching with 400, that's the answer. Not matching, second, third, fourth, somehow you, one of the 4 has to happen. Did you try? Which one is the correct answer? Option D, 2.5. One of you do 2.5 and check. Will it come to 400? End of the answer. This is what I'm saying. MCQ is not a problem. Not now. You see, even if you write all 4 and work out and then tick also, they will not get to know how you reach that number. Understanding? So the way of doing doesn't matter in MCQ. You can go faster. Now this 2 mark, you won't need 4 minutes here. So somewhere you will save time also. You should study EOQ and go. That's all I can say. Correct? Such a easy question in EOQ. Entire question paper, this is the only thing they have asked from material chapter. That to this question. EOQ, that to reverse working. That to with 4 answers. What more you want? Question number 10. Again standard costing, reverse working question. During a certain period, 4,000 labor hours were utilized. When they say utilized, this is actual. The standard hours for actual production, this is SH. Standard hours is given 5,500. Variable overhead efficiency variance is favorable. Remember, variable overhead efficiency is SH into SR minus H into SR. Am I correct? Efficiency, correct? And answer is 15,000 favorable. That means it is 15,000 positive number. Do we know standard hours? 5,500. We do not know rate. Do we know actual hours? 4,000. We do not know the rate. No problem. Now rate is common. So if you keep standard rate inside bracket 5500 minus 4000, and this will be 15,000. 15,000 if you divide by this comes to what, 1500 is equal to standard rate. Answer is 10 rupee per hour. All done. Next, again they said case scenario, a big activity based costing question is converted to 5 MCQs. Okay, I'm quickly taking you through. ABC company produces 3 products X, Y, and Z. Similar type of material is used in the production of all 3 products. Company has been using traditional absorption costing using direct labor hours to allocate overhead to the product. That means as of now they are in LHR method. The cost accountant has suggested considering activity based costing, and following details are given. Production in units XYZ, material cost, labor cost, machine hours, production runs, purchase orders, number of orders shipped means delivered, machine setup cost, machine running cost, purchase cost, delivery cost. Cost driver also they have printed. That means if it is a descriptive question for our working note 1, 49,000 will be divided by total production runs, and number of production runs are given here. If you add all the 3, you will get, we have done not 1, not 2, many questions like this. Machine running cost, you have machine hours with you. They have given what is the basis also. You don't have to even think. At least this they should not give. Let students think. Anyway, I know you won't like this. When they print, sir, what is your problem? Okay. But if they print production runs, you only have to add all the 3 and divide. You'll get to know cost driver rate. Correct? Same way, machine hours. How to do machine hours? Sir, machine hours per unit given, and you already have number of units. If you multiply individually and add, you get total machine hours. And then purchase cost, number of purchase orders given, delivery cost, order shipped is also given. Raw material cost is 2 rupee per kg, labor cost is 20 rupee per hour. Very simple question. On this they created 5 MCQs. This 10 on 10 we should score. Not even one item in this is tough. What is the full cost per unit if you use traditional system? Using activity, what is the cost driver rate for machine setup cost? Now look at this. They asked only cost driver rate. That too only machine setup cost. That means that working note 1, in that there are 4 overheads. In that one number is enough. Tell me how much is this? Machine setup cost. What is the number? Machine setup cost is 64,128, correct? Setup cost, sorry. 49,000. Yes. Now, this should be divided by production runs. Where do we have production runs? 50 plus 65 plus 60. Anyone add 3? 175 production runs to 80 rupees. Do we have 28? For this, if they're giving 2 marks and we don't score, I don't know what. They have to print answer also. Yeah, and give 1 star in question paper only, and then say which is the correct answer. Yeah. Under activity based costing, amount of allocated overhead to machine running hours to product X. That means they want machine running related cost only product X. They have not asked you entire big table for all. Only for X, only one number. Yes. Can we try quickly? What are they asking here? Machine running hours. And if I see machine running hours, this is this number 64,128. I'm quickly writing here 64128, and this is based on machine hours. Can you please tell me how to do total machine hours? 16,000 into 0.5. One of you please help in calci. Yeah, 17,000 into 0.7, 5,000 into 0.9. If you add all, you will get total machine hours. I hope you are doing. 24, what is this? 24400. Can someone double check? Is it correct? Then when you divide 2.628 per hour, correct? And if you are doing product X, how many hours are required to make 1 unit of X? 1 unit of X is 0.5, correct? If you do 0.5 into 2.628 per unit, if I want, what's the number? Okay, anyway, 1.314. They have not asked per unit, they want total. How many units we had, by the way? 16,000. If you multiply this with 16,000, what's the number? 20? No, something is wrong. Is it exact 1.314? Sorry? How much are you getting? 20? Did I do mistake? Any wrong number did we take? Which number is wrong? It is not 24,400. Guys, I asked you to double check. I'll wait. 16,000 into 0.5, 17,000 into 0.7, this into this. This is 5,000 into 0.9. Why are we getting different answers? One second. Sorry, my mistake. Yeah, you can blame me for this. This is not 5,000, guys. This is 15,000. My fault. Now what is this? How much is denominator? 30? 33? Then how much is this? 1.92 per hour. Correct? Now please do 1.92 into 0.5 into number of units of X. 1.92 into 0.5 into 16,000. Do we have that option? 15,360. Sorry, I think I circled on digit 1. So this way, same question, which is variety of descriptive. Now here, look at this. What is the overhead absorption rate per hour as per traditional absorption costing method? If you see first paragraph, they said presently they are following what method? Direct labor hours. That means what they would have done, add all 4 overheads. Now I will not circle anything. Please add all 4 overheads. All 4 overheads. Total overheads. 2 lakh 638. And traditional method, as per them, they are following direct labor hours. Now where do we have direct labor hours? Sir, you have number of units here, correct? And then you have labor hours here. Carefully I circled now. Yeah, can you multiply and add 16,000 into 0.1 and same way one more and one more. 7150. This will be labor hours. If you take total overheads divided by total labor hours, you will get LHR 20, then 29.59, nearest is 29.60. That's the answer. Normally in class material sum, first question is traditional LHR or MHR. Sub question B we used to do activity based. Here they have asked that at the end, 29.59 something, nearest one is 29.60, and that is another question for 2 marks. With this the MCQ section is over. Did you notice the pattern? 2 big questions, 5 into 2, 5 into 2, and then 5 small MCQs of different topics. That means 2 case study. I don't really call it case study. This is descriptive converted to MCQ type. They named it as case study. You have done in class also many questions in ABC like this. Not one, not two. We have done lot of questions. Machine setup, machine running cost, Yeah. Product. We had, I remember one question, gel pen and ball pen. Let me just check in a minute. One of you please help. Part A, we had one question. Page 164, is it? Yes. This one. Similar question. You have total units, total machine hours. Instead of giving total, they gave per unit. We had to multiply purchase orders, number of setups based on machine hour, setup related cost, purchase related cost. First question is traditional costing, then activity based costing, then even difference between the two. If you have practiced this question, then it is similar, not a new variety question. So this was about the MCQ. Now I'm going to the descriptive segment. This is the descriptive part of the paper. Question number 1A, XYZ company, pay attention, has an option to buy any of the two machines N or M to manufacture its unique. Each of the machine has each of the machines have the capacity to produce same quality of component and are almost identical except for the fact that they are being manufactured by different manufacturers. That means quality there is no problem. That means any machine you can choose. Machine M, capacity 50,000 units, fixed cost is 1.5 lakh, could generate a profit of 2,25,000 on the sale. Once you produce, when you sell, you can make this profit. Machine N also has equal capacity, that means number of units will be same, to produce same number of components as that of M. All the components thus produced could be sold in the open market without any difficulty. That means you don't have a limit, no key factor problem. Anything you produce, you can sell. Fixed cost of this machine is 60,000 less than that of machine M. How much was machine M? 1,50,000. This is minus 60,000, that means 90,000. And it will give you a profit of 1,60,000. That was giving you a profit of 2,25,000 by selling all the components that are produced. That means no stock. Whatever you produce, you sell. The selling price of each component is 100 rupee. That means selling price is with you. Number of units is with you. Observe everyone. 50,000 components here they have given, and N also can produce same as M. That means if you take 50,000 units into selling price, you have sales with you. You don't have variable cost, but you have fixed cost with you. You have profit with you. I'm just writing a small income statement. Sales you can do, units given, price given, variable cost you do not know, contribution you do not know, but fixed cost is available, and for both profit is available. If you fill these two, you can get contribution. If you have contribution and this, you can find out variable cost, but that variable cost will be in total. You divide by number of units, you will get to know per unit variable cost. Calculate break-even sales for both. Now, for break-even sales, you need fixed cost divided by, they want in value. That means they want PV ratio. For PV ratio, you need contribution that I just now discussed how to get. That means you have to just prepare one working note, income statement, machine M, machine N. Profits are available, fixed cost is available, sales is available. You get the contribution, do PVR. Once you get PVR, fixed cost divided by PV ratio, you get BEP. Calculate sales level in units where both the machines are equally profitable in difference point. Anyway, price is same. If cost is same, profit will be same. Follow what I am saying. Selling price is same. That means if you find out indifference point where cost is also equal, when sales is equal, if cost is equal, profit will also be equal. This is indirectly indifference point question. If you're not able to recall in exam hall indifference point, you let the number of units be X and solve. X into price minus variable cost, fixed cost is available. Wherever you have a better profit, you can answer this question. Those who want to make a note, this is from marginal costing topic. I won't call it super easy. This is an average type question, not difficult also. And if you look at the marks allocation, they have printed 3 and 2. If you're not able to see, it is 3 and 2. That means even if you can do just BP and come properly, you can still get 3 marks. I've been saying this in class. They will give you mark for each working that you do. I'll show you another question. They have printed 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. That means each working you do, you have a weightage. So even if you can't complete full solution, whatever workings you do, do neatly and come. Very important for all those who will be writing exams in future. When they print like this, it's not about final answer. Can I do workings properly? Even if workings are correct, final answer is not matching, you don't have to worry. Question B. PQR Limited manufactures a product in batches of 2000 units. That means one batch is 2000. This is batch costing question. The following cost is incurred for each batch. Be careful. This is for 2000 units. Okay. Direct material per batch, direct labor per batch, overhead rate, variable they said 120 per machine hour. Expected rejection rate, whatever you produce, 3% of output is rejected, but that is sold at a scrap value. And when they print 3% like this, that means it is expected normal loss. And normal loss, can I multiply with scrap value? Yes, correct. This is scrap generated during process, correct. This we can minus when we are preparing cost sheet. Selling price of good unit, that means not on 100 units because 3 are rejected. This should be taken on 97. Able to understand, when 3% is rejected, 97 are called good units, that can be sold at 250. Total available machine hours per month 3000 hours. Fixed overhead as it is we can copy. Batches manufactured in a month is 10 batches, and if you see in first line they said one batch is of 2000 units. That means if you produce 10 batches, correct, from there you can work out. Finally, calculate contribution per unit. Now contribution per unit, you may get contribution per batch, but you know one batch has how many units? 2000. From there you can find out how much is per unit and find out company's profit. You would have already calculated contribution for this and they want profit. Only thing that you have to minus is the fixed cost amount, and that is anyway not based on good units, bad units. Fixed cost is time based. You will simply copy from the question. Yeah, this according to me is one good question. Those who want to practice can practice. Question number C is easy question, very easy question according to me. Cost accountant of a company has given the following details in respect of raw material X. Look at this. In class, I don't know how many times I have repeated this. Difference between minimum and maximum is 4 and average is 7. What does this mean? If average is 7 and difference is 4, one number should be 2 days that side, another should be 2 days this side. That means tell me minimum and maximum. One is 5 days and one is 9 days because your average is 7, which is in between the two. Difference between 2 is 4. Able to follow? After this, reorder level. Normally we work out ROL. Here ROL is printed. Reorder quantity, ROQ printed. Minimum level, maximum level. Everything that you calculate is printed left hand side. What they want is maximum consumption per day, minimum consumption per day. This question you guys have already solved once in test paper. I don't think this was in part B. How to do maximum consumption per day? Tell me. Where do you use maximum consumption, minimum consumption? In those formulas. When you do ROL, you need what? Maximum consumption into maximum lead time. And this is your reorder level. And in question they have already given reorder level 1,80,000 is equal to maximum consumption into maximum lead time. Where is maximum lead time? 9 days. If you do this into 9, you'll get to know maximum consumption, but they want on per day basis, correct? You will get to know for full year, and then if you divide by number of days, if nothing is given, we can take 365, or some books may take 360. You can take one of the two, and that will tell you how much is the consumption per day. and they've also given minimum, they've also given maximum. Tell me, where will you find minimum consumption? Which formula will give you minimum? Maximum level is equal to ROL plus ROQ minus inside bracket minimum consumption into minimum lead time. With that you can find out minimum consumption. Anyway, answers are with you. ROL is with you, maximum is with you, minimum is with you. I think they gave too much information according to me. This is more than easy, not easy. As you say, easy. Question number 2A, slightly detailed, and this is a 9-mark question. The following information is related to a manufacturing concern for the year ended as on 1st April, as on last day, RM given, WIP given, opening stock, closing stock, copy from here. After that, they have given a list, and then finally, what they want you to do is prepare a cost sheet. Okay. Now here, coming back one by one, raw material purchased is given, including GST, ITC not available. If ITC is not available, I should take it as cost. But this 8 lakh is including this number. That means correct. Already included. That means you will not do plus 18%. But how much is raw material base? How to find out? If 8 lakh is 118, how much is 100? Am I correct? 100 base, 18 GST, 118. If 118 is 8 lakh, then how much is 100? What's the number? 6 lakh? 77 966. Sir, anyway, when you are taking 8 lakh, what is the use of knowing this? Later, they have given another adjustment which should be applied on 677966. That is the reason why I did a breakup now. Look at this here. They have given one thing, freight inwards 2% on RM purchase. Now you can't apply on 8 lakh. You should apply on raw material, which is this number. All okay? But for you, entire 8 lakh is cost. That's not a confusion. Tell me, primary packing, is it above COP or below COP? Above cost of production, primary we should take. If it is secondary packing, it will be below COP. Okay. Fees paid to independent director. When they say independent director, not related to production, I can take it as general and admin cost. You can give one note, take it below cost of production. Production bonus paid to factory workers. Now factory workers are direct workers. These are direct wage, not bonus. Anything you pay them is part of direct labor cost. In your attempt, they may say incentive paid, bonus paid, anything. If you are paying it to direct workers, it is part of direct wages. Job charges paid to job worker, this can be taken as direct expense. There was a small list. What is job work, by the way? When you don't do the work, when you outsource it to somebody, they will do it on behalf of you and you pay them. It is direct work you should have done, but you have outsourced it to others. Salary paid to, now this can be a confusion to some students. Supervisor, they said. Supervisor works in factory. Therefore, it is better to take it as factory indirect labor because he is also labor but not direct labor. If you remember in class material, some questions had this line, supervisor salary is shared between factory and office in some ratio. That time we took one number as factory overhead, one number as office admin. Nothing is mentioned, then supervisor is working in factory. But supervisor is not direct labor, he won't work. He will do indirect labor job. Wages paid to factory workers, this is direct wage. By the way, this bonus is on this number. Salary paid to production control manager, that means this should be above COP. You should take it as related to production. You answer. Sale of scrap generated during manufacturing. What scrap is this? RM scrap or WIP scrap? During manufacturing. Exact this line was there in class material homework question. During process, when they say, remember there was one leather bag question, cutting wastage. When they say cutting wastage, it is during production process. This is WIP scrap. Will I take it as cost or will I take it as a minus? above COP. Correct? If I can, this was first chapter homework question. We had this exact wording, scrap generated during process. Those who have done homework, you know what I'm saying. Can somebody tell me part B, which question was that quickly? In part B, there were only 3 questions. In that, one of the questions was this. Sorry, the screen is on. Page number quickly. Yes, see this on screen. Here, everyone. Page number 20, 22 is it? Read this. Amount realized by selling scrap generated during manufacturing. This even had primary packing. If I remember correctly, in one more sum we had this. Look at the sale of scrap during process. Both examples, WIP scrap. Even in exam it is WIP scrap. Selling overhead per unit. Selling overhead, when they say, it should be applied on sales quantity. Salary paid, to look at the wordings. General manager, it should be below cost of production. Office admin, not related to production. Freight inward, I already discussed. Expense incurred for quality control. If you remember, QC, R&D cost, primary packing, all of this is above cost of production, should be taken above COP. After this, they unnecessarily made this table look like one confusing part. Factory building, plant and machinery, office building. 3 fixed asset, cost price. WTV as on 1st April, that means they have already deducted some depreciation. You need to apply depreciation on the opening balances. Correct? Depreciation on factory building, on plant and machinery, on office building. All the 3 percentages are given. By the way, 1st April, the question started with 1st April as starting point, 31st March is ending. So opening WDV, on that apply depreciation rate. Factory depreciation will be factory overhead. Plant and machinery will also be part of factory overhead. This office building, if you take it as related to production, then it is above. But they did not see, once they have given factory building, there you do production. That means this office building, we can take it as not related to production. Don't say in office building, what if we make production, then you won't call it office building. Basic thing. Therefore, this should be taken below COP. And then they gave insurance charges 2% on cost. That means these percentages is to be applied on the original cost, not on opening WDV. So you have 3 depreciations and 2 insurance. Both insurance to be applied on the original cost. Whoever has time today, I want you to practice this. All those who are writing exam in future, this is a good question to practice. Okay. And then depreciation is charged on WDV. That is understandable. I don't know why they had to print. Stock of finished goods on 1st April was 80,000 units opening FG, having a total cost of 8 lakh. That means opening FG value is given. Now this line you read and tell me indirectly what are they saying. The entire stock of opening FG is sold during the year. That means they follow FIFO method. Whatever was already there, we sold that first in April, May itself. That means your closing stock is all from current year production. Closing stock is 70,000 units. During the year, 4.5 lakh units were sold. Now we have sales data. You have closing stock 70,000. How to do value of this? You would have calculated cost of production. That you divide by number of units produced. That you multiply by closing stock quantity. Then sir, how to find out? 4.5 lakh sales quantity given. Correct? 80,000 opening given. 70,000 closing given. If you have opening stock, you have closing stock, you have sales, you are doing FG. With this you can find out production. Same cost sheet, same page. You had a similar sum. You can see on screen. Everyone, look at this. Finished stock opening. Its value given 14,000 produced, 14,153 sold. You have opening stock, you have production, you have sales. In this we found out closing stock. In exam question, opening, closing and sales is given. You will find out production. All okay? Company wants 20% profit on sales, not on cost. After doing all of this, don't do that silly mistake. Percentage profit is on sales value. Remember, it's not on cost. So if sales is 100, profit is 20, cost is 80. You can do a cross multiplication and get the answer. Question is to prepare a cost statement. 9 marks question, but it's a good question. Not necessary. They said various element profit earned. Just have to prepare cost sheet till the end from top to bottom. This one is, according to me, the easiest question in the entire paper. They want this to be done for 5 marks. They said a skilled worker has been assigned a work, relevant data, time rate is hourly rate, time allotted, time taken. Difference between these two is time saved. A worker has given an option to choose either Halsey or Rowan. Read this line. Worker is given an option. If you give him an option, he will choose the one that is beneficial to him. They said you are required to calculate the earning under both the plans and which plan is more beneficial to him. That means you choose the one which has higher money. That means Halsey formula, work out the sum, Rowan formula, work out the sum. Wherever he is earning more, that is the answer. What if in your paper, if they say which plan is good for company, you will choose the lower one because company wants to pay lesser money. But if you give him a choice, what more you want? And by the way, everything is available here. You have hourly rate, you have time allotted, you have time taken, difference is time saved also. Both Halsey, Rowan, if you know the formula, answer is done. Next, question 3. If you look at the marks allotted here, 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, which means even if you do not know how to answer all sub questions, if you read at the end, they want you to do process X, process Y, normal loss, abnormal gain. Some students don't like this abnormal gain account. I know. But at least this and this you can do and come. Understanding? Therefore, in exam, it's not that right answer I'll get full marks, wrong answer I'll lose everything. Even if I know how to do one part neatly, do that and come. Sometimes this can happen in your exam. You know the answer, but you don't know final answer. But you can do at least 70-80%. Do that neatly and come. You see here, 2 marks each. And this is actually a very easy question. Read. A chemical compound manufactured through two processes, namely X and Y. Process Y is dependent on the output generated by process X. If they don't print also, we know this output of X will go to Y. And semi-finished chemical compound received from X shall be mixed with some other material in Y. That means there is some more raw material added separately. Details of the cost and other particulars for each process is given. All of you focus here. There is one important thing. Direct material, quantity into rate, simple. Labor you copy. Process plant time, 200 hours at 60 rupee per hour. If you multiply, this can be taken as overhead. For this, they gave one line extra clarity also. Process plant time represents attributable plant run time with respect to each process. It is part of direct process cost. According to me, they should not give so much information. If it is process plant, it should be taken in process account. Correct? After this, observe expected output 75% of input. When they say wording is expected, that means 25% is expected wastage. Able to follow? That should be taken as normal loss. Expected means predicted well in advance. That means 1000 kg into 25%, 250 kg is your normal loss. But if you look at this, actual output is only 700. In Calci, out of 1000, if you are expecting 75%, that means you are waiting for 750 kg output. But only 700 kg is the output. Where is balance 50 kg? Abnormal loss. Correct? And realizable value of normal loss, this 25%, which is 250 kg, can be multiplied with 8 rupee. Correct? Now, tell me this 700 will become input. Hello. That plus you will add some more material which they mentioned in the first paragraph, then some labor, some process time. Here 80% of the input, that means again 20% is wastage. Actual output given, and then 5 rupee is the scrap income. There is one more line, the departmental overhead is 30,000. This should be absorbed on the basis of direct labor cost. That means this 30,000 you will share it in the ratio of 35 is to 25. You have done many questions like this. They give a table and then give you one more item and say do it in the ratio. Correct? Assume no finished stock or WIP either at the beginning or at the end. They're super happy. No WIP, no AFG. No step 1, step 2, no FIFO, average, equivalent unit. That means this is first variety question. You only have to do process 1, process 2. Initial we did 5 questions without WIP. Correct? Now, in the class material, if you can come to process costing, initial sums, here itself. These kind of questions, process 1, 2 and 3. We have done 3, they have asked only 2. Normal loss is given. And if you see in this question 3 homework question, there was this line, total manufacturing overhead 5,000, which is apportioned in the ratio of labor or similar thing. But in class we have discussed 5% wastage. In exam, instead of giving 5% wastage, they gave anticipated output is 70%. Balance we should understand as normal wastage. And then there is some abnormal gain maybe. That's why they have asked you abnormal gain account also. So 2 marks for each of this. Now here I don't need step 1, 2, 3. I don't need FIFO or average also. Only thing I have to do properly is cost per unit formula. Do you remember cost per unit formula? Total input cost minus normal loss scrap income divided by total input quantity minus normal loss quantity. Yes, easy question. Question B is for 6 marks and this is a pricing decision sum. I want you to think, this is a new variety question but not tough question. SW Limited manufactures linen bed covers. The present cost data is given. Variable cost of making 1 unit, variable cost of selling it, fixed cost in total, selling price is given, profit is also given. The management could sense a stage of stagnation or deterioration in the future sale with new entrant RK Enterprise, some other company has come into the market. SW Limited has approached to one marketing consulting firm for the study of cost, volume and profit analysis. The firm suggested 3 alternatives to fuel sales growth by tinkering with the price. If we reduce the price by 10%, our sales in units will go up by 15%. If you remember, there was one budget question, East region, West region, product X and product Y. There they said if you change the price in this area, correct, your sales may go up, branding and promotion. But here they have given 3 alternatives to you. And finally question is, calculate the effect on profit under each. That means they want you to do profit calculation in all 3 and recommend which one is the best to adopt to get the maximum profit. Please observe, they are saying projected increase in sales in units from the sales level that would generate 8 lakh profit. Where is this 8 lakh profit? This number. Able to follow? Now, if profit is 8 lakh, selling price is 800, variable cost is given to you, fixed cost is given to you. With this, you can find out number of units. Good thing they did, only thing that is twisted is as of now, number of units are not given to you. Correct? In Calci, selling price is 800, variable cost is 200 plus 100, this is 300, variable cost is 500 per unit. And how much is fixed cost? 16 lakh rupee, and you should get profit of 8 lakh. That means 8 lakh plus 16 lakh, 24 lakh should be your contribution. And each unit is giving you contribution of 500 rupee. In Calci, 24 lakh by 500. As of now, you are selling 4,800 units. Whoever has done this, they can only complete the answer. Because in future, tell me what is expected to happen. Price will come down by 10%. That means price won't be 800. It will be 800 minus 10%. That is 720 rupee. Increase in sales quantity. They should know 15% on what? That 15% is on number of units. This number of units, if you calculate properly, you can do the balance part. If you remember, in marginal costing, after doing initial 15-16 sum, we had one application based first question. They had original budget and then they gave plan A, plan B. We will reduce the price, our quantity will increase. Another plan was we will increase the price, our quantity will decrease. Here all three strategies, our price will come down, because of which our quantity will go up. Yes, in volume 2 book, in marginal costing, in application based sum, I remember it was first, second sum, page 405, whoever has the book with you. This is a marginal costing question. Yes, here you can see they have given original budget, this one, original units price, and then they said if we increase the price, volume will come down. If we decrease the price, volume will go up. In exam, what they did, plan A they have not asked. Plan B, the decrease percentages, three different percentages they have given. If you can see, 10% decrease, 12.5% decrease, 15%. And when you do that, units will go up from the base level of 4,800. Marginal costing, application based sum. This question for 8 marks you will love. Service costing, copy paste. XYZ Transport is running a bus between town A and town B, 25 kilometers apart. 4 round trips, average 30 passenger. Bus will cost 5 lakh, insurance 2%, annual tax, garage rent, annual repair, 5 years life, driver salary, conductor salary, 10% of taking as commission to be shared equally between driver and conductor. Stationery given, manager come accountant salary, petrol and diesel 1000 rupee for 100 kilometer, 15% profit on taking, depreciation on SLM. You are required to calculate bus fare to be charged per passenger kilometer. Bus will run for 25 days. I think this was the easiest in that chapter also. I think first or second question of that full topic. Yeah, service costing. First, I remember correctly, second sum I did in class, third I gave as classwork and you did, and answer was also provided in book only. Some students did not do that day, wasted time. Today they understood why we should practice sums. Anybody, service costing first page? Page number, sir, quickly. 247. Yes. Question number 3, is it? Was it classwork with solution given? Yes. Looks like almost copy this question, correct? Is it same 25 kilometer distance? Sorry for the screen. Yes. Same 25. You can see here. Here also. Same 25 kilometer. A and B. 30 passengers. Easiest question. Same 25%. 25 days in a month. Calculate. So same 4 round trips. 10% commission shared equal. This is probably after that Halser Owen sum. This is the next easiest sum. Will not waste time on that. It's a very easy question. Yeah. LMN Foods is a manufacturing company, organic snacks, for the year ending. Now this is for the year ending 2023. They had following data: opening, closing, purchase. If you do all this, you get RM consumed. Correct? And then you have labor cost, production overhead, selling and distribution. In 2024, next year, they accepted one request for bulk supply of their product and estimated cost, material is given, labor is given, packing is given. LMN Foods allocate production overhead on the basis of labor and marketing and distribution as a percentage of product cost based on last year data. Whoever remembers this, in cost sheet we did one sum, and later when we were in job costing, a similar question was there, and all of you said, sir, we have done this question already. So either you count it as job costing sum or count it as cost sheet sum. Calculate overhead percentages based on last year, and you prepare a cost statement to reach a profit of 20%. Whoever has job costing, I think volume 2 in class book, can you please tell me quickly page number? Job costing and batch costing. In job costing, I think part B, there was this question. Last year data, percentage. Anybody? Yes. This question. Page number 299, all of you. I think it is exactly same sum. Everybody, question number 10, page number 299. I'll keep question paper also open. See this. Opening stock, closing stock, RM purchase. Opening stock, closing stock, RM purchase. Labor, factory. Here we had admin. In question paper they have marketing. After that, they said this: during next year, company has received one order, material and labor is given, company charges, look at the wordings, factory overhead as a percentage of labor, admin as a percentage based on previous year, cost of delivery of the component is 9.5 lakh. Here also, if you can read, let me in this. LMN allocates production overhead based on labor cost, marketing based on total production cost based on last year, and then there is one transportation cost printed, same like what you saw here. Calculate overhead rate based on last year, and question is overhead rate based on last year's actual, and then prepare a cost sheet to earn 25% profit. Here they are saying prepare a cost sheet to earn a 20% on profit, 20% profit on sales. Easy sum. 2 marks for this, 4 marks for this. Question number 5. Look at this. 1 mark. 5 things they want you to do. Only one sub question they gave 2 marks. That means this is 6 marks question from standard costing. Number of units produced, standard labor rate, actual hours worked, efficiency more than 100, that means it is favorable, rate variance, answer is given. We did one question like this, and I discussed one in part B also just some time back. When variance answer is already given, you can put the numbers column 4, column 5, and then do reverse working. Question is actual labor rate, that means they want AR. Standard hours, that means they want SH. Labor efficiency, variance. Standard labor cost, actual labor cost. This is labor variance table with reverse working. Tell me, if you already have number of units produced, standard labor rate is 9. That means wherever you have standard rate, 9 can be filled. Correct? And actual hours worked you have, that means AHW can be filled. And you also have rate variance. Rate variance is last 2 columns. Correct? Now tell me, rate variance is 71 to 80. If you can help me. How to calculate rate variance? What minus what? AHW. Correct? AHW. This is actual rate. AHP. Okay, actual hours paid. Actual hours paid here also, correct? Into standard rate. And they are saying this difference is 71,280. They are saying adverse. If it is adverse, then it has to be minus. And which number do we know? Standard labor rate is 9 rupee. That means into 9 I know. Actual hours do we know? Actual hours work is 17820. That means if I take it here 17820 with 17820 here, I can find out how much should be the actual rate. Correct? Sir, this efficiency is 106.8%. Tell me, efficiency is useful when you compare SH with AH, and if efficiency is above 100%, that means it is favorable. This is a reverse working sum. You have to fill available data, and then missing numbers you will have to get one at a time, and finally complete the answer. This, according to me, is one good question. Anytime you see a reverse working question, even in class material, answer is given. You have to find out base data. I've told you many times, if answer is printed reverse working, by default it is important, because how many ever you sum, how many ever sums you practice, reverse working can be new variety only every time. So more practice you do, more confidence you get. So this is one good question. I think some students would not have got the correct answer for this even in exam. Okay. Next, they asked you journal entry assuming cost and financial books are integrated. If you notice 4 marks and you have 4 items, that means each journal entry has 1 mark. And when it is integrated, you don't have to worry about GLA. If it is paid, take it as cash or bank. You see wages paid, first payment entry, wage control to cash or bank. And then if some portion is indirect, balance is direct. Direct will go to WIP, indirect will go to factory overhead, and so on. This is also easy question. Here I like this question. It looks like theory, but if you don't know the subject, you can't answer this. Define spoiled and defective work and discuss the treatment of defective work. What is defective? Can it be rectified? Can a defective be rectified? That means difference between spoilage and defective is this itself. A defective item can be rectified, but that will come with some cost. If you remember in labor topic, we had one small adjustment. 20% of production is defective and that is rectified. During training period, new employees will waste some time, but that was not spoiled. Tell me what is the difference then? Spoilage is you can't even rework. Correct? Entire cost is a loss. But if it is defective, it can be reworked. My worry is when the defect is sent for rework, that rework also has a cost. Rectification also comes with a cost. They have asked you what to do in these cases. When a percentage of defective work is allowed in a particular batch as it, understand the subject, cannot be avoided, that means this is a kind of normal cost, normal loss, normal cost. Can you charge it to your customer? Yes. This cost of rectifying the defective should be taken in normal cost sheet. You can charge it to customer because it is cannot be avoided. What cannot be avoided should be charged to customer. But look at this. When the defect is because of bad workmanship, this is your abnormal loss. You can't ask your customer to pay. That rectification cost will go to costing P&L. Anything abnormal. If you remember in overtime, we had this kind of discussion when overtime cannot be avoided, when overtime is because one employee is slow, when overtime is done because of one customer. Treatment depends on the reason. Where defect is due to inspection department wrongly accepting incoming raw material of poor quality. Again, this is company's fault. You cannot ask your customer to pay. Even this loss is to be transferred to costing P&L. But here you can write one more point in the treatment. It is because of the inspection department's fault. Correct? You cannot even say this is management inefficiency. It is that employee who is not doing the work properly. Some books even go one step ahead and write this can be deducted from his salary because it is done by him incorrectly. But that if you do not write also, it's okay. Basically this cost you cannot charge it to customer. This is also a loss to be transferred to costing P&L account. And when they ask question like this, only treatment you have to write. Don't repeat circumstance again just to fill pages. Only treatment you should write. Explain the steps involved in procedure of reconciliation of cost and financial. Also explain the circumstances where reconciliation is not necessary. I want you to answer. What are the steps involved in reconciling? They could have asked a practical question itself. Anyway, how to reconcile? What are the main three reasons? Some incomes, some expenses, and then stock valuation. Hello, do you remember this discussion? You need profit as per cost accounting, and then all the incomes or the difference in income are added. All the expenses and difference in expenses are deducted, and then closing stock and opening stock depends on whether you have done overvaluation or undervaluation. If in closing, if in costing, if you have already done overvaluation, that means your profit is already high, you'll have to deduct it. Same way, if opening stock is already overstated, then your profit is low, you'll have to add it. Now, solving a sum is easy than explaining in theory. What they want is explain this. What items you add, what items you deduct. Understanding? And then they have asked you, under what circumstance reconciliation can be avoided? Either you have integrated system, now no question of reconciliation because you get only one profit. Or second rare possibility, every item is treated equally in both costing and in accounting, which normally won't happen. Think about this. If an item like donation comes, you will take it in P&L account, but you will not take it in cost accounting. And once that happens, you have to reconcile. So two possibilities when reconciliation can be avoided. One, your system should be integrated. Second, every item taken in costing is treated in the same manner even in financial accounting. This is rare in real world. For answer in exam, we can write. Next theory question they asked, state cost unit of following industry. If you remember in first chapter, initially when we discussed theory, there was a story on what is cost unit, and I said anything for which you calculate cost. And if I remember correctly, this table was there, this exact table. A few typical example of cost unit, some industries and some cost units. Same way they gave a list. Oil, this way, professional service per client, education per student, brick making per brick or per batch of bricks if you do it together, engineering will be per project, correct, electricity per kilowatt or per, I think you had electricity power, correct, transportation, advertising, you had lot of, sorry, yeah, hotel will be per room per day, coal mining will be per tons, quintals. If you remember in joint product, there was this gallons. Yeah, brewing can be per unit per liter. Hospital will be per patient per day. This is more of common sense than costing, according to me. Explain the methods that can be used for controlling selling and distribution. This is there in first chapter theory. In study material, we have marked some important theory to be read. Okay, controlling selling and distribution. This is one, according to me, many students would have found it difficult, but not to cry. Or they gave another. Suggest any one basis of apportionment of these costs to production, planning and progress, transport, personal department, fire protection, powerhouse, computer. How do you apportion this? Is what they want. Instead of giving a overhead chapter practical question, remember rent on area basis, electricity on kilowatt basis, they converted that to a theory question. I remember in class material, in overhead, in one of the homework questions, this question was there. They had given a list. One of you quickly come to overhead part B. They had given this list of 5 items and asked you to decide what is the correct basis. Can somebody quickly find that question to me? Part B, we had this overhead chapter. There was a list, if I remember, 5 items they gave and asked you to mention for 126. Everyone, question 30, 30, 126 is it? Sorry. Here, everybody state the basis of apportionment, and that just meant that means this is what they want you to write in exam. By the way, you do not have to write this, don't waste time. And did you notice only 4 mark and there are 8 items? That means it's all half mark. For half mark you don't have to write this, only basis you write in exam. 1 2 3 4 final answer. Don't prepare table, waste of, what is the use of writing same thing again? Correct. That's all. With this, the question paper discussion is done. If you can see, there is enough theory question also. Planning can be done on production department basis, can be on number of units also, or number of hours of production, machine hour basis. Area, fire protection has to be based on area, larger area, larger cost. So this is about question paper. I'm closing the question paper discussion